Hello to the audience. In today's Solutions Session, we welcome Barry Penners from Expocloud, nearby Cologne, who will explain what Standbuilders need now and after the crisis. Gary will give us some insights on how to survive during the time we won't have any trade shows to run, and what kind of online solutions are available to help to survive during this period. The stage is yours, Barry.
Thank you, Uta. Thanks for having me today. So what I would like to think and talk about is, in these special times, what can we do to help the community, help the stand builders for now and after the crisis. So for that, I've prepared a little presentation. It's a very short agenda. It's basically Corona and the stand building community, then some available technologies, and after that we can go into the summary and any questions you guys may have. So first thing is, do we have to change live communication? Do we really need virtual trade fairs? Virtual trade fair is something that I myself and nearly all of the people I work with have always been against. I've done a little pros and cons list. The pros, of course, are it's a lot cheaper. It has a much wider reach, and the booths and shows can stay alive longer. You're not limited to however long the trade fair is. It can basically stay online forever. And then the cons, which in mine and our site are huge. There's no personal contact, which is basically what the trade fair industry lives on. You need to be able to go up to somebody, talk to them, and sit down for them at a bar, have a drink together, and talk about your needs and requirements. And also, there's no multi-sensory experiences. You can't really go up to a booth, look at the product, touch it, feel it, smell it. All of that kind of falls away in the virtual world. And I think those are two huge disadvantages to the virtual trade fair. But what if no fairs are taking place, like at the moment, where we don't really know when we'll have the first trade show again? I think in these times, we really do need to think about other solutions, and maybe actually do have to consider a virtual trade fair. So how can we assist in that? For that, we've created a little tool called Virtual Shows. And what that does is it converts a 3D image, like from any of your CAD software, into a virtual world, a virtual booth. Now, I think it's fair to say that just about all of us are already using 3D software to design our booths, either in the planning stage to get an idea of what our customer needs and what we would offer them. And that image can really easily be converted into something that your customer or you yourself can post online on your website or in the database. So why should you use it? Well, first point is, nearly all of us already use CAD software for 3D designs. You can support your customer before the fair. You can test the waters for new exhibits that you might want to offer at a booth to see what the response is to that. You can support them during the fair. If you are at a trade fair yourself, but your colleagues can join, you can send them the virtual image of the booth, and they can actually have a walk around and see what it's like, and give their feedback on that. And of course, you can support them after the fair, because the booth actually remains available online for as long as you want. So basically what it does is creates a digital twin of your real life booth. And what that looks like is, I can actually show you here. Bear with me 1 second. So this is what it would look like in your database, and you can do additions to that. You can upload new images, you can set information points, delete, upload, and convert the image. And then if we can actually go into the booth itself, it looks like this. It just runs in your browser, and you can turn it, walk around, zoom in, zoom out. And the interesting point is you can set information points at the booth. So where you would have an exhibit or an information point or an LED screen or whatever, you can have an information point. Your customer can click on that and get all the information like they would on the real life booth as well. And you can of course zoom into it, walk around, and walk up to each individual exhibit at the booth. And what that does is it's a really easy opportunity for your customer to have an online presence. In these times where the live communication has been put on hold for us, they still have an online presence and can show all of the new products to their customers and have a little bit of an interactive feel with them as well, just like they would do at the real life trade show. We've done a few booths already with some of our customers, and the response so far has been pretty good actually, especially for how easy it is to just convert the CAD image into an image that I can actually put online. So that's the first product. The second one is Event Metrics, which would come into effect again as soon as we can do real life shows again. And what that does is it's a little sensor that captures Wi-Fi capable devices, so your mobile phone basically, at the trade show, and it really easily tells you how many people have attended the trade fair hall in a 50-meter radius around your booth. So they would have seen your booth, which is of course really interesting for brand awareness purposes, and how many of those actually visited your booth, and that it can do in a radius from up to 2.5 up to 25 meters. And there it shows you the multiple counts. So every time a person walks past your booth, basically, and how many people actually visit your booth as well. And we've got a little heat map that really easily and really fast shows you when the hotspots were at during the trade fair, and a sales funnel that shows you how your booth has performed. So then you've got the ratio between people walking past, actually attending, and then if you want to, you can add the leads as well, and then you've got the complete sales funnel. And that shows you really easily if you've got a lot of people walking past but not really attending your booth, then maybe your brand message should be a little bit changed for the next fair. Or if you've got a lot of people at your booth but not many leads, it might be easier to train your sales staff or have a talk with them as to why that was. So brand awareness, something I just already talked about, is the ratio between people seeing your booth and actually attending the booth. And that's of course really interesting for your marketing department. And then of course we also measure how many people attend your booth. Now the smallest radius there is 2.5 meters, but we can do anything up to 25 meters. And then you've got the graph of how many people attend your booth during the trade fair days. Then of course we also offer a daily analysis for each day, where you see how many returning visitors there are, how long they stay at your booth on average, and then here it shows you how long they stay at your booth, how many people spend less than 5 minutes, 5 to 15 minutes, or over 15 minutes at your booth. And this is the percentage of the traffic you get at your booth compared to how many people that are in the trade fair hall. So at the IFES Village, at 1 o'clock, we had around 25% of the people that were in the hall at the time also attended the IFES Village. So this actually offers you a way into consulting your customers as to how they did at the trade fair and maybe how they can do better next time. Because you've got standardized KPIs, key performance indicators. Those you can compare from event to event. It's a very stable margin of error that we have with Wi-Fi tracking. It's it's always like this, around the same error quote, which is something that of course we can't limit. That's just a technology is. Well, because that is stable, you can compare the events against each other. And because you know your customer the best, you know how they performed on one event against the other and what they did different. And so maybe you can tell them, hey, look, the first time you had an LED screen, you didn't do that this time, and immediately there's a lot less customers. So maybe we should try that again the next time. Okay, so that gets us to our little summary. We really don't think that virtual booths are a risk for real life communication or real booths. That's simply because many of the multi-sensory and personal aspects can only be created and experienced in real life, like walking up to a customer, sitting down with them, having a drink together, and touch the actual products. But they are, however, a powerful and useful expansion to the real life booth. This digital twin can be used for testing purposes. You can see how the market reacts to a new product, a new setup, and it can stay online for forever, basically. Like they say, the internet doesn't forget. Expocloud Virtual Shows offers an easy solution to turn a CAD 3D design into a living interactive world. And then Expocloud Event Metrics offers you a chance to consult your customer and help them compete against online marketing, which is something I haven't really talked about yet. But of course, an online marketing campaign, if you're in your company or running that, and you go up to your marketing manager and ask them, how did the campaign perform? In 3 clicks, they can tell you how many new visitors they got, how many uniques, what the web traffic increase was over the time the campaign run, which brand image worked the best. They've got all this information, and that is simply something live communication didn't have before, except for people's gut feeling. We had a lot of good talks. We sold so many cups of coffee. Now you can actually use event metrics to get the same KPIs as an online marketing campaign does as well. Okay, Uta, that was me done with the presentation. So I'd like to open the floor up for questions at that point. Are there any questions?
Well, I was collecting some questions so far, and let's start to event metrics first. Do you, how does it work? You install it, or you hand over some remote control, some sensors, some, I don't know. Or can you just hand over the gadget, and which is the size of the gadget? Where do you have to put it? And well, of course, always the question about cost.
Okay, thanks very much. Okay, let me just go back to the device itself. So as you can see, it only has one plug on it.
Okay.
That plug also comes off and then has a USB slot for a power bank. So either you plug it into the wall socket or into your power bank. And as soon as the device is on power, you check that the LEDs are lighting as they should, which there's a formula that how they should light up. And as soon as they do that, the device is online. So really each customer can hook up the device itself. It's really plug and play. And then we've got 2 options. Either the customer rents the sensor for one event, which we then would plan together, not the event, but where to put the sensors, depending on what they're looking for. They only want to know how many people are in total at the booth, then usually you'd only need one sensor. If they want to have the total number of attendees at the booth, but as well compare individual products or exhibits against each other, then we do this planning together and tell them you need to put one sensor there, one there, one there. And then if the customer is happy with that, we lock those positions, send them the final drawings on where the devices need to be put. And then at the trade show, then one of their employees or their stand builder or one of us, if they want to book a technician with it, goes there and plugs in the device, make sure it's running. And then there's a little code on the side as well that you can scan with your mobile phone. And then you immediately see if the device is running correctly as well. So it's really pretty fail-proof. And then the second option that we offer is an annual rent, where you rent the sensor for 12 months. With that, you get your own software tenant from which you can control your events and your sensors. And with that, you get a training on how to use the device correctly. As for the costs, if you want to rent sensors for one event, one sensor costs 249 euros and a one-off payment of 49 euros for the data set and your online logins. And then the annual rent is 149 euros per sensor and 95 euros per month for the software tenant, which is then completely customized to you with your logo and your brand colors. Okay, that was
about event metrics. So easy to install and even women safe, children safe, whomever wants to use it.
Exactly.
It sounds like it's really plug and play, and well, actually we used it at the IFES booth, and we didn't install it by ourselves, so but it was done pretty fast, that's true. So
it was pretty fast, right?
Yeah.
I ran around.
Plug and play. Even if you're installing it was pretty fast.
Even if I'm installing it, right?
No complaints about your installation capabilities, but yeah, well, you were there and all of a sudden you were gone, yeah? So it was fast.
Exactly. It was fast indeed. Yeah.
Okay, and coming back to the virtual booth, does Eventmetric or does Expocloud have any referrals during Corona? Does some of your customers use this product already since there are no shows running, or is there, is there this feeling of, oh, I don't know, and I do have my website, and
Yeah, so one of our customers, Rocket Expo, they during the Corona time, they actually did 5 booths that are virtual booths, and they're online as well, so they can actually be viewed through their website and walked around. And so 5 so far just for this customer, and there are a few more as well that we've done, but unfortunately we are not allowed to show them. But these we are allowed to show, and everybody is free to have a look at the Rocket Expo website and have a look at the booths that we've done so far, so they can get a better idea. The response so far has been pretty good. Customers are amazed how fast and how easy it actually is to post their images online. So far so good. Okay.
And question is, you just use each kind of CAD files you have, DVG, or do you need a certain program for it? And is there a limitation of the size of the files you need, or is it just, you can take almost everything?
So what type of CAD software you use, like what brand it is, it really doesn't matter. What we need is that this CAD image has an .obj and a .mtl file, which all of them can do and should do. Yeah. And what we do is we convert those 2 file images into what's called a GLB image, which is basically a 3D image that still has all the reference points inside it, but it's a much smaller file size. Like it's always under 100 MB, which is the maximum file size that virtual shows can use, but it converts all of these huge CAD images into smaller chunks that are therefore faster and easily scrollable. Yeah, so it doesn't matter what type of CAD software you're using, just it needs to have these 2 file types that we can then convert. And this converter tool is of course part of the software.
Okay, so you just upload it in the software, and then you can more or less start with it.
Correct. So what happens is, no, that's not here. That is, let me see, there. So basically, in the software itself, you just create a new image and you give it a name. It automatically creates a URL that your customer can use and post and link in their iframe as well. You pick what background and what bottom colors you would like. And then if you hit publish, it's published. and then here you look for the .glb that was just created. Yeah,
Okay.
and then you click erstellen or create, and that's that. And then it will look like this, and then you can start setting your info points inside the what do you call it, inside the booth. See if that opens up while I'm here in this file sharing. Okay, so that is then the booth itself. And then if you want to create a new point here, you create a point at the booth. It has your X, Y, and Z because it's 3D coordinates, and you just hit whatever you want to call it. So let's keep it safe and hit it, call it cat, and then call to action.
Meow.
Yeah, exactly, meow. And that's basically it. And then you can put a link to it if you want to have it clicked on and go somewhere else or something. And you hit save, and then it's already has a new information point there then. So it's really super, super easy and a very easy, fast way of setting up this information in a virtual world.
And do you believe, since this is so easy and fast to do, that customers decide to leave a trade show and not go to a trade show anymore, but go for these kind of online solutions?
I think, no, I really don't think so. Like I said, there's not really any danger to the real live trade shows, just because, you know, the looks, the feels, the smells, the touch is not there with virtual booths. But what I think it will do in the short or longer term is that customers will have, if it's available, have a virtual walk around first and look what really interests them. So I see it more as an add-on or an extension to the trade show, or even like a way to visit booths that I weren't able to visit there while they were there, but it will never replace real life communication.
Okay.
I really don't think it will ever do that.
So, and is there a chance for like testing? Can we use it on the IFES website? Do you see a chance there?
Yeah, we would actually like to offer you, we've got a free and a standard version. What we would like to do is offer the people attending here or on the IFES mailing list to test the software for free for 6 months. And I'll provide you the details on how that will work. And with this 6-month standard version, you can upload up to 3 booths per month, I think. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So I would like to offer you guys that, and I'll send you the information on that. And you're welcome to distribute it amongst the members.
So, sounds great. So we can reanimate our or bring back to life our global village.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes. Recreate it and have another walk around back when you could still go outside and meet people. Yes. Yeah.
Sounds great. So, Barry, I don't have any questions. Do you have anything you want to tell the audience?
No, just thank you very much for attending, and Uta will send out the presentation to all of you. If you've got any other questions, feel free to email either me directly or at our info@Expocloud mail, and we'll be happy to answer any other questions that might not have come up today. Thank you all for attending. That's it, and stay safe. Thank you, Barry. Stay safe, stay healthy, and yeah, well, looking forward to work with you again on a long period. Yeah, thanks for the opportunity, Uta. Thank you. Bye. Soon. Bye. 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 So.